For today's activity, we are going to be using some of the information and knowledge that we have been building on the last couple days using Hummingbird Bit. So you've been using the tutorials from the Hummingbird Bit website, which are pretty straightforward. They show you some videos and then they give you the code and they ask you to complete a task. So today we're going to do a little bit of a review, and we're also just going to kind of check for some understanding, and you're going to be completing some Hummingbird Bit challenges. Previously, your exit tickets have been taking a picture of the wiring diagram because that's what I was focusing on the last couple days. But today, with these challenges, I want to focus on your code. So when you're done coding it, what I would like for you to do, if you have the coding tablet, take a screenshot of it. You can do that by hitting the power button and the down button at the same time to snap a screenshot of that. If you are not using the coding iPad, I would like for you to simply just take a picture of it. I would not like you to airdrop files to one another. Please just simply snap a picture of your partner's iPad. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize these Hummingbird Bit tutorials. You can see that it says here that these are the same resources that were shared previously. So I'm going to click on that. We're going to get redirected here. Great. So these are going to be some resources that you're going to use. So for instance, I'm going to ask you to do a challenge with the tricolor LED. If you would like, you can click on the tricolor LED tutorial and walk through like you've done before. Something else that I've added though, these are coding cards for bird blocks. So you can also use these. These are a little bit easier and straightforward. So if you think, oh, I don't need to do the step-by-step tutorial, I remember all I need to know is a little reminder about how the wiring works. Remember, the black wire always goes to the negative. Always, always, always. So here's your wiring diagram. And then to the right here is some basic code to help you get started. Now with these challenges, I'm going to ask you to maybe start with some basic code and then manipulate it or add more blocks inside the forever loop right here and so on. Tricolor LED, wiring, and then there is the coding chart. One thing just to note here on these servos. So the servos, again, you'll need the extra additional battery pack. That's the only time that you'll need that additional battery pack. Otherwise, it can run off the small battery pack that's powering the microbit. But something just to note, and I mentioned this in class the other day. The S, when you're wiring these up, the S is for sensor. The red goes to the positive, and remember, black always goes to the negative on these. So make sure that your wires are in the right position when you put these ones in. You can have up to 4 servos. You have 2 position servos and 2 rotation servos. If your servos do not work, or you realize that something in your kit doesn't work, or you need a wire clipped and restripped, I am happy to help you with that. I will tell you that your last challenge is going to be involving creating or using a sensor for that matter. It's not going to be a light sensor. So let's jump into what those challenges look like so you know what's expected of you for today. So here are the challenges. So there are 5 challenges that I would like for you to complete. So it says here that using the tutorials link, which we've used before, or the coding cards that I just showed you, you can use as a resource to help you get started. Complete the following challenges. Make sure to take a screenshot of your code or take a picture of your partner's iPad for each challenge. One of these codes will be your exit ticket. So you are not taking a picture of the actual wiring on the Hummingbird Bit as we've done the last couple days. If you are comfortable with that, you can go ahead and actually stop the video, pause the video. I am going to read all of these challenges in case there are students that don't quite understand. But if you feel comfortable just simply reading these, opening this Google Doc on your computer and completing these challenges, feel free to do that. If you need any help, ask your neighbor first and then raise your hand and ask me. So if you'd like to go ahead and go on your own, you can go ahead and stop the video and you can get started on doing these challenges. Otherwise, I'm going to read these step by step so that way you know what's expected of you if you're having a little bit of trouble understanding, or if you need to revisit this even if you've won on your own. So the first challenge, single color LED challenge. So I would like for you to connect all 3 LEDs and have them take turns blinking one at a time in a forever loop in the following order. So I would like for the green to turn on and then off, yellow to turn on and off, red to turn on and then off, and then go back to the green. You can have it delay between each one however much you would like, but make sure you add a delay block, otherwise they're all going to turn on and off so fast that you cannot even see them blinking one at a time. For tricolor LED, similarly, I would like for you to do the same thing, except we're going to blend some colors. So in the first step of the code, I would like for it to be 50% red and 50% blue. So it'll be like a purple color. And then it's going to turn off at the same time that we're going to turn green red. Now notice the red is staying on at 50% when it goes from step 1 to step 2. And then we're going to do the same thing from 2 to 3. Green's going to stay on, and it's going to go 50% blue, 50% green, and then loop back to the beginning. For position servos, I would like for you to simply have them rotate one at a time. I said connect both servos. Have them both rotate to the following position. So at the same time, I want them to go from 180 degrees to 0 degrees to 90 degrees, but note it says wait for 2 seconds between each of those steps, just to simply allow those servos to get into position before it's being told to do something else. And then back to 180, 0, 90. Rotation servo, this one might be a little bit tricky. I want you to connect both rotation servos, and at the same time, I want you to rotate them in opposite directions at 50% speed. And I want you to pause and then alternate them after 0.5 seconds, so half of a second. So one of these servos, for instance, is going to be rotating clockwise. At the same time, the other one's going to be rotating counterclockwise. Pause for 5 seconds, and then I would like for you to have them rotate the other direction from whatever one they are going. Lastly, and this is going to be the tricky one, I'll be really excited if I can see somebody complete this one. So this is the distance sensor challenge. I would like for you to connect the red and green LEDs. Have the red LED turn on if the distance is less than 10 centimeters. Otherwise, have the green LED turn on. So if you're beyond 10 centimeters, I would like for the green to turn on. However, you might note that they'll both stay on maybe. And how do you get them to turn on and off? Meaning, if you're closer than 10 centimeters, the red will turn on, but the green should turn off. And if you're beyond 10 centimeters, the red should turn off and the green should turn on. So those are your activities for today. Make sure that you're taking screenshots of your code or taking a picture of it if you are not using the coding iPad. And if you have any questions at all, neighbor first, and then feel free to ask me. So today's lesson is going to be very similar to yesterday. The link that is in your Schoology should automatically bounce you to be on position servo. You can see that here. Just like yesterday, what I'm going to do for the exit ticket, I need you to take a picture of the wiring of every one that you do. And at the end of class, I'm going to ask you to upload a picture of your actual Hummingbird. You don't need to take a picture of the screen you're coding on your tablet or screenshot that. I want a picture of your Hummingbird because I'm mainly checking to make sure that your wiring is correct. So today I want you to work with position servo and rotation servo. And as I already said, those are going to require that extra battery pack. Okay? So if there are no battery packs available, go ahead and jump down and do the sensors. So you can do light sensor, dial sensor, distance sensor. You see all these ones here. Okay? We don't have the V2 sensor, so skip that, but I definitely want you to check out doing multiple devices. All right, so when we go down here, we should be watching these videos step by step. Play. The first video is always going to show you a little bit about what it does, and then it's going to show you how to actually do the wiring, and then how to do the code, and then they're eventually going to have you do some challenges, which are pretty fun. So take a picture of everything, and when you are all done, make sure that you snap a picture, because one of those is going to be your exit ticket.